So before we talk about the prospect that was cheating and got thrown off his own team, I want to talk about a change coming to Major League Baseball for the 2024 playoffs, and that's the fact that they are introducing helmet logos for the first time ever in the postseason. Maybe I'm an old man yelling at clouds, but I hate this. I really hate this. Do it in the London series games or the Korean series, whatever it is. I don't care about that, but the playoffs, I feel like helmets are sacred. And listen, we've had to adjust to the jersey patches with the Oxy logo for the Astros. The Star Insurance patch for the Yankees at least looks somewhat decent, but the helmet, come on. I mean, this just looks weird. That's just me though. Maybe, again, I'm an old man yelling at clouds. I don't like this look. Without further ado, it's time to talk about the Twins prospect, Derek Bender, who was released for tipping pitches. But, I mean, tipping pitches isn't illegal. Pitchers do that all the time. He's not a pitcher, everyone. He's a catcher. He was quite literally telling opposing hitters the pitches that were coming their way during the playoffs. He essentially was the guy who was starstruck in Space Jam, like, oh my God, Michael Jordan, I'm going to feed him pitches so he gets on base. That's what he was doing in the playoffs, and he just got drafted a couple months ago. He was a 6th round draft pick, and because he got released by the Twins, he actually gets to keep all of that signing bonus. His excuse was that he wanted to go home. It was game 2 of a doubleheader, and a lot of former players are actually coming out and saying that this is something that happens often, where people just get exhausted and they start throwing the game. Let me know. What do you guys think of this? On to the actual games from yesterday. When Gleyber Torres hit this baseball, I thought, okay, maybe that's a double in the gap. Nope, that ball left. Gleyber's hitting .310 with a .400 on base over his last 13 games. And by the way, a few days ago, Trevor Story came back. I forgot to tell you guys that he is back from that shoulder injury. Jazz made a beauty of a double play to help Nestor get through 4 clean frames. And Jazz, he's really getting used to the hot corner over there. Nestor, by the way, he had 7 strikeouts over 4. He was pitching angry. He's been a new guy ever since they moved him to the pen. Now he's back in the rotation. Danny Jansen did make him pay, though. Nestor hung the meatiest of meatballs, a curveball down the middle, but then he got Devers for the 3rd time of the game. Devers is hitting .171 since August 19th. He looks broken in the box, but at least he's not carrying it into the field. What a double play. We'll talk about Aaron Judge and the fact that he might be broken. We'll talk about that in a second. This game needed extras. Soto, he's going to get his chance. John Birdie, he can absolutely fly, so he does score. That is the first walk-off for Juan Soto as a Yankee. That's his 2nd career walk-off in general. Now, usually you would walk Soto to get to Judge to hopefully hit a double play, but even with Aaron Judge and his worst home run slump ever, he's still getting the respect that he deserves. But since that Paw Patrol episode, I know it was Rubble and Crew, but Paw Patrol, 16 games ago, he has 0 home runs. That's his longest home run drought of his entire career. He's been stuck at 51 since August 26th. He's batting .207 since that episode released. Bobby has 4 home runs since, but he's also struggling with the batting average, just .224 over that same stretch. They're both tied at 9.6 F4. Can Bobby Witt Jr. catch up if Judge just doesn't homer for the rest of the year? We have a long-awaited and highly anticipated MLB debut coming up. Kumar Rocker, who is Jack Leiter's star duo at Vanderbilt a couple seasons ago. And yes, they are both teammates again on the Rangers. So Kumar got in some trouble. 1st and 3rd, no one out. There's his first strikeout in the big leagues. Down goes Cal Raleigh. Same with Randy Arozarena. I mean, I don't know the grade of Kumar's slider, but it's got to be 80 out of 80. Rayleigh, he drilled one, but straight to the right fielder, so Kumar's out the jam. Now, he's up a run. Josh Young, he went the other way for his 7th home run of the year. Rocker kept on rocking out and racking up the strikeouts. Randy's down again to end the 3rd inning. He had 5 strikeouts through 3, and he can also paint that 97, 98 mile per hour fastball on top of that slider. He made one little mistake, way too much real estate for Justin Turner. We know with real estate, it's all about location, location, location. Kumar, he's done after 4, but his debut ends with 7 strikeouts. And a little rerun. I wanted to show this because I have to mention that he's the first player of Indian descent to ever play in the big leagues, and I'm hoping that he can keep on building for 2025. Randy Arozarena, he just tied it after Kumar came out. That was a line drive up the middle, and now it's 4-1 after a wild pitch. But does Texas have a comeback in their back pocket? Nathaniel Lowe with a solo home run. Now it's 4-2. Make it 4-3. Marcus Semien, his 21st home run, gets his season OPS plus back over 100. And then the Mariners had a couple of miffs to help out the Rangers big time. After Josh Smith got on, thanks to the help of the Mariners defense, Adolis, he put the ball in play and he tied it up. Nate, he clutched up again thanks to Jorge Polanco having bricks for hands. I mean, if he feels that, he could probably throw across his body and it stays 4-4. Instead, the Rangers, they take it as Kirby Yates. I mean, he's been absolutely insane this year. 30 saves, 2 more strikeouts. He has a 1.27 ERA and a 3.7 hits per 9. That's almost history in the making. So the Mariners implosion made it to where I couldn't even talk about Bryce Miller, who left with 7 strikeouts, just 1 walk over 6 innings. He's got a 3.1 ERA. The Mariners staff is so deep. One of the deepest rotations we've ever seen, but they do lose to the Rangers. The old man can still swing it. Jason Hayward, he blasted off for the first time as an Astro, and Framber, yeesh, how are you supposed to hit these pitches? He struck out 3 in a row in this inning, and then later in the game, JP with the web gem, that's Jeremy Pena, he saves Framber Valdez from giving up a base hit, unlike Jake Myers, who I respect the effort, but he was a solid 5 feet away. Jacob Wilson, he secures the double, and then Daz Cameron, he flares in Jacob to end Framber's day. That's the first time in 4 home starts that Framber didn't go 7 innings, which is crazy. He had 6 strikeouts over 6 1/3. His ERA is under 3 for the season. Brian Abreu came in. He's been pitching a lot this year. He got the clutch double play. Singleton with the quick moves over there at first base. Mitch Spence, he was pretty good after that 2-run home run to Jason Hayward. 7 innings, just those 2 runs allowed, and now he's no longer in line for the L because Brent Rooker, he has 36 home runs. He's been a machine this year. John Singleton then untied it. He's having himself a really nice second half. Jake Myers, another 2-out base hit, and same for Mauricio Dubon. Every single run that the Astros scored was with 2 outs, so the Astros do take it. They're back to 4.5 games up on the Mariners for first place, but I do want to mention one thing. why am I out of breath? Am I really that fat now? Come on. JJ Bleday with this double just became the second A's center fielder ever to have 40 doubles and 20 home runs in a single season. If you guys don't remember, he came from the Marlins, so let's talk about the Marlins game real quick. By the way, he was traded for AJ Puck, who isn't even on the team anymore, but the Nationals, they took an early lead on some RBI base hits from a few rookies. The first came on a single from the first rounder Dylan Cruz, and then the other rookie, Jose Tena, he's got really crazy exit velos. He collects 2 RBIs on a long double to left field, but he's been playing some terrible defense. Now, we all know Dylan Cruz is fast. James Wood almost caught up to him. That's how fast he is. From there, though, okay, hold on. CJ, he robbed Connor Norby of a base hit, but a run still scored. Jonah Bride, he's been an RBI machine as the backstop for the Marlins in the second half. That's a sac fly, and then later in the 8th, wait, hold on. Dylan Cruz, he's about to make an unreal running / sliding grab. I have no idea how he got to that baseball. Even he's kind of in disbelief. That kept the lead, but I'll just spoil it. The Marlins did all of the scoring to end this game. Jonah Bride, he had a game-tying RBI. Gallo, he couldn't handle the awful bounce throw. So the Fish take the lead. Then we have another bounce pass, this time out the hand of Dylan Cruz. He's got a rocket arm, but he was kind of just like skipping rocks with that throw. Miami, they scored 1 run on an actual base hit, and shout out to Jesus Tinoco. He had 2 perfect innings to end this game. He has 26 strikeouts in 20 innings with the Marlins with a 1.3 ERA. The Marlins find disgusting relievers, feels like every other year, and they just dominate. From one sea creature to another, the Rays, they beat up on Gavin Williams and the Guardians, and I mean, it's just so sad to see Gavin stink it up because he was lights out to end 2023. It really did look like he was Garrett Cole in the making. Brandon Lau, he socked his 18th home run in just 93 games, by the way. J-Ram, I'll show this for me because I want to see it. His 39th stolen base, he's 1 away from 40, and then Lane Thomas tied it on another double. He has been sizzling with the RBIs and extra base hits over the last 3 weeks. Andres, he made Ryan Pepio pay for back-to-back walks with 2 outs, but again, Tampa, they took this one as Jonathan Aranda, he had a sac fly, and that was followed up by another play to Lane Thomas, who has a cannon, but that throw was way up the third baseline. Caballero, he singled in another, and the Cleveland pitchers, they just cannot keep Tampa in check. Quan did momentarily, that was a seed to nap Josh Lowe at home plate, but that was all the fun highlights for me as the Guardians do lose, but despite that, they're still 4 games up on the Royals for first place in the AL Central. Let me knock on wood. We have a fun web gem to start this next game. Sal Frelick's face meet netting. He went straight into that one, but he still makes the play. Frankie Montas, he might have actually Uno reversed the Reds and scammed them. He looks like A's Frankie Montas all of a sudden. Look at some of these pitches. He's disgusting. He goes 6 scoreless, 8 strikeouts, just 2 base hits allowed. He has 38 strikeouts and a 2.7 ERA his last 6 starts for the Brewers. He and Savali have done a really great job at kind of nailing down the staff and their health. Birdsong, by the way, Hayden Birdsong for the Giants. He went 5 scoreless, but yeah, it's weird to see Camilo Doval in the 7th inning, but it makes sense considering he's lost all command. This is what Whit Merrifield was talking about. It's dangerous to face a guy like Doval who throws a zillion. He walks, then there's a wild pitch, and on 3 wild pitches, that's the game's first run, and that's all that the Brewers needed. Although Jackson Chourio decided to make some history for the cherry on top. He's the youngest ever to 2020. That is a stupid swing. He went the other way, in San Francisco on an inside sinker. He's 20 years and 185 days old. That kid is disgusting. Now, there's some big trouble for Devin Williams. Mark Canha, that's a base hit. Gerard, he just laced a double down the line. But Devin Williams, he worked his airbender magic. And speaking of magic, the Brewers' magic number to secure the division is down to 7 games. So barring a miracle, these next 2 teams essentially have a 0% chance of winning the NL Central. Justin Turner's favorite shortstop just smacked a home run. Mason, he's up to 26 doubles, 13 home runs, and 13 defensive run saves. He pimped the heck out of that one. Sonny Gray, he was as good as it gets until the 6th when Will Benson, he straight up punched a pitch while trying to lay a sac bunt down. I hope that he's going to be okay, but he did have to leave the game. And India, he tied it moments later. Jake Fraley scores, and well, it's not tied anymore. Mason Wynn scores on the Lars Nootbaar sac fly, so it's 2-1 Cardinals when the rookie Thomas Saggese, I keep wanting to say Saggese, but that's not his last name. He's on the board with his first career base hit, which means that this is his first career run scored with a 2-run pinch hit home run off the bat of Brendan Donovan, who's got 30 doubles and 12 home runs. The rookie Thomas Saggese grabbed another base hit, his first career multi-hit game and RBI. Ellie, he dropped the 3rd out as the Redbirds win at 6-1. I'm just going to spoil it. They've won 2 games in a row talking about the Cardinals, and I got to show off Sonny, who struck out 9 Reds. He's aging like fine wine in terms of the strikeout stuff. He has 195 strikeouts and 160 innings and 11 strikeouts per 9 at 34 years old. If it wasn't for the shortened season, he's probably getting pretty close to 2,000 strikeouts. St. Louis is 6 games back of a wild card spot, while the Tigers, they're trying to get within 2.5 games of an AL wild card spot, and Tarek's on the bump, so no one better. And did the rookie Jordan Beck go yard? He did. He gives the Rockies their first lead of the entire series. Thankfully, Torque saved Tarek. That's a go-ahead 2-run knock. So you have Torque, Tarek, and now Tovar. All of the team names. Tovar, he wants a 2-run base hit as well. But Riley Green says, you will not pass go. I don't know if that ball leaves, but still a 10 out of 10 effort on that catch right there. Brenton Doyle, he tagged a pitch right to Scoobs, who he deflected it with his palm. The dude's a warrior. He stays in the game. He leaves with the lead after going 6 with 6 strikeouts, no walks. And we'll talk about his season stats in a second. The Rockies, they tied it as Chuck Nasty, he hustled down the line for a game-tying infield single. And man, this was a punch to the gut if you're a Tigers fan, because Dingler missed it, and then so did Matt Vierling, the right fielder. Jacob Stallings is given an RBI double, and then you have Jake Cave with the sac fly to score my friend Nolan Jones. Tyler Kinley, he's really trying to save his overall season stats because he had a 6 ERA a couple days ago, but he's got a good amount of saves. I think this is save number 11 or 12. The Rockies are 55-92, and straight up, when do you think that they're going to be a playoff team? They're 353 and 501 since 2019, so that's way under 500. When are they going to be good again? So that does it for all of the games from yesterday. And before we do the guess the batter as well as guess the pitcher, there's the batter. You guys can think about this. Who is this pitcher? Okay, I feel like I know who that pitcher is. We'll come back to that in a second, but a quick update on the standings. I forgot to mention that with that walk-off, the Yankees have a 2-game lead over the Orioles in the AL East. We talked about the Central, the West. We don't have to talk about that, as well as the NL's kind of settled as well. We know it's going to be the Phillies, the Brewers, and then probably the Dodgers, but the Diamondbacks have been on fire for a while now, but even if they don't win the West, they're going to make the playoffs. Remember, everyone, Major League Baseball now allows 3 wildcard teams, so as of right now, it's the Diamondbacks, the Padres, and the Mets. The Mets have a 1-game lead over the Braves. The Cubs, they're still trying to fight at 5 games back. Then you have the Cardinals, the Giants, they're probably out, but maybe they have one more comeback in their back pocket. And then in the AL side of things, the Orioles and the Royals are the top 2 teams. The Twins, they're 3.5 games up on the Tigers and 4.5 games up on the Red Sox and the Mariners, because the Red Sox have really slid as of late, and the Mariners, I don't know if it's going to happen this year. I really don't. We've talked about Judge really sliding in terms of the batting average. He's down to 3rd in Major League Baseball, but he's still batting .319 after a lengthy slump, which is insane. Bobby, same thing. He's batting .333 with Vladdy sandwich in between at a .321. Then you have Luis Ariz, who I think has only struck out 2 times in the second half, and your daddy rounding out the top 5. In terms of the pitching leaders, Seth Lugo and Tarek are tied for 16 with Chris Sale. Then you have Wheeler and Jose Barrios. I did not know that he had 15. If we're taking a look at the ERA, so Chris Sale has moved ahead of Tarek Skubal, so Skubal no longer has the MLB Triple Crown, but he does have the AL Triple Crown, so he's number 1 in strikeouts, so he's just ahead of Chris Sale. He's also number 1 in ERA in the AL. Again, Triple Crown is just your own league. He's also number 1 in wins, so if he does that, he's going to win Cy Young easily. I'm sorry, Seth Lugo fans, but he is not going to be your AL Cy Young. But in terms of the NL, do you think it's going to be Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler? Let me know in the comments. We know that Judge has been stuck at 51 for basically 2 or 3 weeks now, and Ohtani, he's creeping up with 47. Santander has 41, with Soto and Marcell Ozuna rounding out the top 5. ERA after Sale and Skubal, it's Wheeler, Flaherty, and Framber Valdez. Framber Valdez, again, he's under 3. We talked about that earlier in the video. RBIs is still Aaron Judge with 126. I just want to see him in the 130 RBI club. Then you have J-Ram, Shohei Ohtani, Willie Adames, which is crazy for a middle infielder, and Brent Rooker. We have saves. You have Helsley and Clase tied at 44. No one else is even close to them. Hits, it's Bobby Witt Jr. We talked about the strikeouts. Ellie, we know that he's been striking out a bunch, so the stolen base numbers did slow down a little bit, but he's still a 64 with Ohtani at 48. Again, he's got 47 home runs and 48 stolen bases, which is disgusting. All right, I'm going to give you guys 1, 2, 3 seconds to guess this pitcher. I know exactly who this is. Okay, I'll give you a little bit more time. I'm almost positive this is Taijuan stealing money from the Phillies, Walker. Yep, that is Taijuan Walker. Okay, so watching baseball every single day does have its perks. I can tell who Taijuan Walker is. In terms of the batter, I think I've met this guy before, Ramon Laureano. I'm pretty sure that this is Ramon Laureano. We met at an Easton event. He was on the Guardians for a while, so I'm pretty familiar with that swing and the leg kick. I'm going to go Ramon Laureano. He's been tearing it up with the Braves. He's essentially been Eddie Rosario 2.0, goes from the Guardians to the Braves, starts raking and rediscovers his swing, and it was Ramon. 2 for 2 today. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's recap. If you did, do me a favor, leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new. Don't forget to use my codes on SeatGeek and Underdog Fantasy. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day and enjoy the web gems.
Diving stop at third by Devers. Goes to second, one, a double play.
Too often with Jose Altuve in that spot. It's going to get past a diving Nick Allen, but here comes Jacob Wilson.
Devers with a pick, and Rafael Devers
on the ground, ranging over Turang. He gloves it, he throws it in.